Welcome back to Shift. I'm your host, Blake Mallon, and last week's guest conversation, it was truly something special. We had the one and only Sarah Robbins on the show talk about an absolute industry legend across the entire channel of direct selling. She shared her personal journey from an educator, a kindergarten teacher, on the brink of losing her job. Fast forward, the number one earner in a giant, well-respected company with over $1 billion in team sales annually. Question for all of you. Wouldn't you just love to be leading a community that generates that type of impact every single year? And she just absolutely delivered in our conversation last week. So transparent, so real, teaching us, yes, how to think, the mind or perspective shifts that have made her who she is today. But I love that she got just real tactical on some simple things we can apply right away to move our teams and ourselves forward. It was a phenomenal conversation. The feedback has been absolutely off the charts. Thank you for those of you that have reached out on social media, given us some of your insights, and a huge amount of gratitude for those of you that actually take the time to leave a rating and review on the podcast. Those things matter. So thank you. If you got something from the show last week or any show, and you do find your way over on Apple Podcasts to leave a 5-star rating and actually write a review on Apple or Spotify, YouTube, Audible, we have a huge amount of appreciation that allows us to get these conversations in front of even more entrepreneurs. So please take the time to do that. And just again, a big personal thank you for those of you that are taking the time to do that. I see you. We appreciate you. And if you missed last week's conversation with Sarah Robbins, definitely go back because it was truly an inspirational and remarkable conversation, all of it. But in our shift summary today, we're going to highlight 3 shifts that I got from this conversation that were like stop the scroll moments, right? These were moments in our dialogue that I want to make sure we capture and we apply you right now in your team to your business because I know the impact it can make. Starting with shift number 1 that I got from my conversation with Sarah last week really has to do with the power of a peer group. We got into a real inspired dialogue around mentors, and Sarah shared how she found some amazing mentors, gave us tips on how we can find and align with mentors in our life. She also, now being a mentor to many, gave us insight for those of you that are mentoring others on who you look for to pour your time and your energy and your wisdom into, because that is a huge amount of value and a gift that we all can give. Who do we choose to put our experience into raising the next layer of leadership up? So this whole concept and conversation around mentors was a big part of our dialogue, and I love just where we're at in the world, where finally I feel like this intention or spirit of collaboration is trumping this toxic feeling of competition. You know, it wasn't that long ago where even conversations like this, like Shift as a show, wouldn't be able to get the traction that it's getting because people wanted to keep people in a box. And I just want to say, I'm excited that we are where we are in the world in this channel where we can appreciate collaboration, learning from the power of people alongside us. And it's so awesome that we have shows like Shift and access to the guests that we all get a chance to learn from week over week, really mentoring and creating an atmosphere of learning and better for every single one of us. But beyond this mentor relationship, the real conversation that I got from Sarah last week was the power of a peer group. A peer is different than a mentor, right? A peer is a colleague. A peer is someone, right, on the journey with you, someone to your left, to your right, in the foxhole, by your side. She used the term a sideline sister for all the women out there and gave the example of how she inspires people to create little accountability pods. And I thought this was brilliant. Finding a couple, this isn't a big group, right? 2, 3, 4, right? 5 people that can be an accountability pod. People that have similar goals as you right now. People that are running at a similar pace as you right now. And that's important. If you want to have an accountability pod, you got to be around people that have similar goals, similar pace, similar intentions, so you can support each other. It's a peer group. And when you set these accountability pods, you got to set the ground rules of how they're going to operate to get the best out of everybody. Hey, the obvious, we're going to talk about things that move us forward, not things that limit us. We're going to keep the negativity out. This isn't a water cooler for drama and gossip. This is a place of betterment and empowerment. And we're going to create a permission of accountability. We're going to set goals. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to pick each other up when we fall. We're going to cheerlead when we win. We're going to share best practices. That's the power of a peer group. And just a simple weekly talk time. Every week around the time. It's set. It's in a calendar. It's a priority. It's amazing what can happen with a short weekly talk time and the right accountability pod. And you know what? What I love about this is it doesn't matter who your quote-unquote upline leader is, what team you're in or not in, what so-and-so is doing or not doing. Every one of us has the power within our control right now to create our own sideline sister, our own accountability pod, our own peer group to help move us forward. Don't fall into the my upline is or isn't conversation. Don't fall into but so-and-so is or isn't conversation. That is stuff that is outside your control, right? Take responsibility, ownership of what you can do right now. And this idea is something you can implement now to move yourself and your life forward. And it's something you can duplicate or replicate within your community to do the same, the power of a peer group. So let's make the shift. Second thing I got from our conversation with Sarah, and there were so many, but I loved her practical advice, especially when she told us to make, I'm going to call it your SSC list. And for those of you that listen to the episode last week, do you know what I'm talking about when I say your SSC list? I know when we talk about making your list in this channel, the first thing that comes to our mind is maybe our list of contacts, the list of people we want to share with. That's an important list. But you know what's also an important list as of my conversation with Sarah last week? This is a whole new kind of list. It's our SSC list. And what I'm referring to when I say SSC is the list of things we're going to start, stop, and continue. You see, this is a strategy list. This is a, hey, let's check in and do a checkup from the neck up. Where are we right now? What are the things we need to start doing as an individual, as a leadership group, as a team or community? What are the things we need to stop doing as an individual, as a community, as a leadership group? And what are the things that we need to continue doing? You see, if there's one thing we know is true, it's the conversation of this show is there's always going to be a season of shift. Things evolve. The world changes. And things that might have worked at one time really, really well may be working less than they once did or not at all. And just because we did something that worked at one time doesn't mean that we continue to do that thing over and over and over again. By nature, we need to constantly reinvent. And if we're not, we're going to end up falling behind. And this list, your SSC list, your start, stop, continue list is such a simple list. And such an awesome conversation for you to engage with the people you're working most closely with right now. Right now. Like, get this on the calendar this week. Hey, I listened to Blake. We had a podcast. I learned from Sarah Robbins. We need to make our start, stop, and continue list now. And watch the type of clarity it can bring to the strategy you're implementing right now in your business. So let's make the shift. And the last shift I want to highlight, and this is hard because only highlighting a couple in a conversation that has so many more is not an easy thing. But the last one I want to call out is the reminder from Sarah that it's not about you. It's about them. It's not about you. It's about them. And that is true on so many levels when it comes to really understanding why someone is joining your community, what they really want out of it, how we as leaders can serve them and help them toward their goals. But specifically, we were talking about social media with Sarah. She gave us an absolute masterclass in social media strategy. Go back and listen to all of it. But when it comes to learning to pause before you post and ask yourself this one empowering question: how can you make their life easier or better today? Such a simple question to layer into your social media strategy. On every post, before you post, we pause before every post and ask, how can I make their life easier or better today? And by their, your audience, those that you're connected with online, your Facebook friends, your followers on Instagram, those that you're connected with on TikTok or LinkedIn, all the places, wherever you are, wherever you're posting, pause before every post and ask, how can I make their life easier or better today? And put those answers in your content, in your copy, in your captions, and show up in a way where you're genuinely looking to serve those that are looking at you right now. Because if you show up and make it about them, it's not about how you're feeling in this moment. It's not about what you're excited about in this moment. It's not about what's on your mind or even in your life at this moment, which is a weird thing to say. But social media, when it comes to marketing and business, it's not about your diary. It's about showing up in a way that can serve those that you're connected with. And if you flip that filter and ask that question, and show up in a way that you're creating content and engaging in a way that really truly is about making their life easier or better in that information and what you're sharing and the experience that you're bringing and the story that you're telling and the caption that you're writing, you're making an impact. You're adding value. And when you do that, people are going to show up and want to engage and listen and learn from you because you're making it about them, not you. So there's a reminder, pause before your post and ask yourself that question, and that'll shift the content that you're bringing to the world and the level of attraction and impact that you are creating. So let's make the shift. So I challenge you this week, let's focus on the power of a peer group. Set up your accountability pod, your sideline sisters, create your ground rules, set your weekly talk time. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Make your start, stop, continue list. Schedule it today. Who are the people you're working most closely with that you think you want to align on in that conversation? Get that on the calendar, make your list, and do that every 90 days as a way to look back, review, and redo so we can continue to reinvent and become the person that we are becoming. And hey, pause before you post, starting like now, like your next post, and ask yourself that question: how can I make their life easier and better every single day and what I'm bringing to the world? You can do this. So there you have it, 3 shifts that I know there's someone on your mind or your heart right now that needs to hear this shift summary. And everybody has some time to listen to a quick summary and a way to better their life and better their business. So please do me a favor, share this show. You can find us on all the places on Apple, Spotify, Audible. You can watch us on YouTube. So whatever platform is best for you, please go share the episode with someone that comes to your mind or your heart. We're looking to make an impact on entrepreneurs across the world that are using our amazing channel to bring their mission, bring their purpose, bring their passion to the world in a way that makes positive change and a positive impact. You can find all the past episodes on those platforms as well as on our website, directsellingshift.com. So if you want the simple place, you can always go to the website, find the show, and share from there. While you're there, you might get prompted to subscribe to the weekly newsletter, put in your email, and hey, we'll give you the reminder when we release new guest episodes right to your inbox for free. So drop by, subscribe, and share the episodes that are making an impact on you. That is why we're here. We're here to make an impact. We're here to raise the tide across the channel. We're here to help people make the shifts that are working in people's lives right now, and we know will work for you and the people within your social circle. Now, I got to tell you, coming Monday, we are going to a whole new level. Get ready for an absolutely electrifying episode. We have a world-class powerhouse on the show as a guest for the very first time. Her story of defying all odds, growing up, being diagnosed as dyslexic, going on to earn not one, but two, but 3 degrees, including a master's from Harvard Business School. She's known as Energy in Motion, and we're going to feel that in our conversation on Monday. She has trained professionals in this space on 6 continents. She shared the stage with Oprah. She brings such a high energy, high vibe persona and a wealth of wisdom and insight that is going to make an impact on you. I'm telling you, we're going to a new level. I can't wait to introduce her to you and you to her and you to get what we're going to be sharing on our Monday conversation. So subscribe to the show, follow, turn on your notifications, subscribe to that newsletter, and get ready for an absolutely inspiring Monday as we all continue on this journey together to make the shift.